Hi, I'm Doug Witte, an attorney at Boardman Clark here in Madison, Wisconsin. Today I wanted to talk to you about travel pay. This discussion is for information purposes only and it's not legal advice. The key issue for travel time is whether the time is considered hours worked. If it's not hours worked, you can still pay employees for their inconvenience. It's still going to be considered wages, but it doesn't have to be included towards the 40 hours per week and overtime purposes. If you want to pay travel pay, you can establish a separate travel rate. It must be at least minimum wage. If you establish a separate rate, you have to do that before the work is performed. Some common issues we see related to travel time include, is the time a normal commute time? If it is part of the employee's normal commute time from home to the job site, it's usually not considered hours worked. However, if an employee punches in and performs any work at the shop and then travels, that starts the clock running, and all those hours are included in the 40 hours and overtime purposes. Other issue that's really tricky is riding time. So if employees come to the shop and they all just ride in a truck for their own convenience, that time does not have to be included. That's just, you're doing that as a benefit for the employee. If you have an employee who travels between job sites during the course of the workday, all that travel between job sites during the workday is considered time worked and must be paid for. If an employee is hauling materials or equipment, then those hours are going to be considered hours worked, and all that time must be included. The tricky parts on travel is when we're working out of town is sometimes how far are you working out of town? And so you must consider sometimes how far is the distance from the employee's home or from the shop. The chance is if you have to pay somebody to stay overnight, there's a better chance that you're going to have to pay for the hours worked. And if you're working out of town and people are staying overnight, you're still going to have to pay the drivers and the riders for all those hours worked. Now, the only time you have to pay them is for the first trip out in the beginning of the week and this last trip home at the end of the week. As you can see, the issues regarding travel are very confusing sometimes and complicated. If you have questions, please feel free to speak to an attorney. You can also use the ABC First Call service. I've talked with people numerous times about all these issues on a weekly basis almost, and I'd be happy to work with you as well. Thanks for your time.